Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of podcasts, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Batman, Shredder, Ewok, and the Wonder Twins, Greg and Tammy, with their space monkey, Gleek. Dedicated to truth, justice, and reviewing the geekiest moments of 2019, it's the Guardians of Geek and Friends Superpower Hour!
The past year gave us moments of unbridled geeky goodness and moments of excruciating geeky badness. The Guardians of Geek endured them all, and now you will too in our review of the geekiest happenings of 2019.
In a world filled with intergalactic space battles, metahuman destruction on a global scale, and psychopathic serial hauntings, there's only one team who can make sense of it all. When your world is overrun with rampant pop culture, call Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a big 2020 explosion.
That's right off the top. 2020 explosion. I'm Loop.
And I'm Larry.
And this is Guardians of Geek. Lawrence, this is our first show.
Of 2020.
So
I almost said 2019.
I know, 1 year. I also called you Lawrence instead of Larry,
You
but that
did.
doesn't matter.
This
You
is
go
an
under many
entirely new
names.
podcast.
You go under many names in the year. I can't believe this has been a year since our podcast
It
launched.
is. This is the official 1 year mark. From the beginning. Yeah, we've made it one full year.
Woo. I gave it a year and 2 month commitment, so we'll see what happens in 2 more months, but we'll see.
Well, we're wrapping it up there.
Yeah, okay. Good night, everyone.
That was it
We
for our
are done.
podcast.
But so last year we did our review of 2018.
Yes.
So this year we're going to do our review of 2019.
Yep.
But we thought, we got to make it bigger. We
That's right.
got to bring in some special guests.
Because we know some stuff, but we don't know all the stuff.
And we like to hear other perspectives. So we
That's
got
true.
what we like to think a panel of experts today in the studio.
They don't get more expert than this.
No, this is as experty as they get right here. So we've got Tammy Heisel, right?
Hi, yes.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, of course
Yes.
you did.
Yes.
You could call me whatever you want.
Okay, you're from you run FANatics online, so I just got over a cold, so I got a gravel truck of voice here.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. It sounds like something for sure. So tell me a little bit about FANatics online.
Oh, FANatics is our show. We had it on air for 3 years, and now it's online for a wider audience, and I go and I do all the fun stuff. I go to cons and do all the nerdy things I can possibly fit into my time.
And where would we find that if we're looking for it?
Online, FANatics online. You can go to www. Do you still say www?
I don't know. Do we just triple W?
www.
The Dubs.
FANatics online.
No one's ever called it the Dubs.
I call it the
Well,
Dubs all
now
the time.
I'm totally going to call it that. FANaticsonline.rocks.
Oh, .rocks. It does rock.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I love that.
It was what I had, that's all.
That's pretty cool.
And how did you get into the world of geekdom?
Well, I've always been a geek. My first comic convention was, talk about geekiness. It was a Star Trek convention in Toronto, and I dressed up as Han Solo because that's what I do. So,
That is awesome.
I mean, honestly, right? But I've always just been attracted to the, different nerdiness, and now I know it's common, but at that time it really wasn't, and I liked that. I liked being a little different.
Awesome.
Don't we
Yeah.
all?
Yeah.
Speaking of a little different, whoa!
Segue.
We've got Greg Silver Screen Sheen here from Pop Cultured, which is a radio show on CJBK.
Yes.
And Greg, how's it going today?
It's going good. I'm glad to be here, Loop and Larry. It's
Hey, we are
my
so
first
happy to have
time
you.
here, and I'm excited to be here. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about your show.
Okay, well, my show is just kind of just talks about pop culture. And that's why we're called Pop Cultured. So you
It's a
fill in
very
the blanks
clever
there. On TV, film, conventions, toys, comics, wrestling as well. Sometimes some music, and some celebrity guests have been on there. I had, Curtis Blow was on my show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's he's like the pinnacle of like the biggest guest I've had on there. And
Excuse me, I've been on your show.
yes, but I was going to get to say local guest is a different category, Tammy. But no, I thought that was pretty special that I got hooked up with that opportunity. So Curtis Blow, that's like my
That's awesome.
That's a
pop
big one.
culture definitely highlight of the of pretty much the whole series so far.
Yeah, you and I are very similar in what we like. Like,
Yes.
because I used to work with Greg, and we found it pretty quickly that we have very similar, like, it's almost like we were two people the same in two different places, and then we met together. Like, it was like, we have the exact same, like, reference points and
I'm
everything.
from Earth 5, yeah.
Yes. You crossed over, and we were able to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Things may get weird in the studio here as they meld back together
Yeah.
into one new human
No, this is
type
great.
being.
I love this having
Yeah, I'm
everybody
happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great because we're going to look at 2019. It had some highs, some lows, for sure. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go through hits in TV, fails in TV, hits in movies, fails in movies, hits in what we call the other category. That's anything that's not TV or movies.
Yep.
And fails in the same. And then we're going to look forward to one thing that you're looking forward to in 2020.
That's right.
I like it. Yeah. I'm glad
All right.
I didn't study.
So I'm just going to
Just
pick
like school.
I'm just going to pick
nervous.
random people. I'm just going to I'm going to spin this wheel. Beep 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 beep. I was going to start with Larry. Just right off the top.
We're
gonna
going
go-
right off the
The
top.
category is hits and TV.
Hits and TV. All right, I have some hits and TV.
Okay, so we're going to look at what did you think, Larry, this year was like something that jumped out at you. Now, it doesn't have to be a specific show. Could be like a genre of shows, or what did you think?
Okay, well, if we're going genre, I have to say, and we've talked about this on the podcast.
Oh, and by the way, before we go any further, no one knows what everybody else has
No.
picked.
This is all new to all of us.
So some of us may have the same one. So if you
Yes.
have the same one, you can jump in on this at the same time.
and any arguments that we get into will be legitimate.
Yes.
Yeah, not reversed in any way. so for
Am I allowed to swear?
Oh no, this is a kid-friendly show.
Is it?
Aw, poop.
Okay.
Oh, come on! No!
Greg.
Is that really a beep if you say that?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I mean, I
No,
said the
it's
beep a little
not.
late. No, that's an okay one. We
That
can
was
go with
okay.
Poop
Do-do.
words. Well, now you're pushing.
No, I was
Come
gonna
on.
I had a stutter. I was gonna say I'm gonna do this fantastic job on this
Okay,
podcast.
that's fair. That's fair.
Come on.
Yeah, okay, that's
Give
fine.
me a
Love it.
chance.
Come on, man.
Okay,
Let's all calm down here. All right.
like I won the spin. All right, let me take my
Go.
turn.
I'm
here, okay?
excited. Go.
Okay, so my hit for genre of TV this year would be the horror genre.
Okay.
We've talked about this plenty of times. Horror seemed to really take a foothold in 2019. You had your Creep Show, you had your Stranger Things, you had Castle Rock. You had a lot of really cool horror genre TV that was really good. So
Fair,
as it went, I think horror was the genre of 2019. Now, as far as specific shows, it's not going to be a far stretch for you to guess what my hit of 2019 is going to be. If
I was a
anybody's
betting man.
ever listened to this podcast, they know I'm a little bit of a Star Wars fan. So obviously I'm going to have to go with Mandalorian. It was, for me, like, it took the cake. It was everything I wanted it to be and more, and it like filled in all kinds of gaps for Star Wars while I was waiting for new movies, and now I've got new shows to look forward to next year, and it, for me, that was a huge win, and it was followed up by not so much of a geeky show, but a really good one called Chernobyl. Did everybody see Chernobyl? Anybody here?
No, my wife
No?
did. My wife watched
Okay.
it, but I did not.
Really good. It's not so geeky. It's more sort of fact-based, but it was definitely a highlight of the year. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, you should really check it out. But if you can't go there, Mandalorian all the way.
I love how your hit became into like several hits.
And there's going to be a lot of hits and a lot of misses for me.
No, there was
More
there
hits
was,
than
there was a
misses.
lot of great like horror shows this
Yes.
year. I enjoyed Creep Show. I haven't finished watching all of them, but I'm over halfway through them all,
Yes.
and I've enjoyed that show quite a bit actually. I like how they're not using like the CGI as much, and they're going back
more
to the traditional
effects,
practical effects, which is really cool. Mandalorian, what can you say about that? Like,
I
because
can
all
say
seen
lots.
it.
Baby
really.
Yoda. I haven't seen it all. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well then we
But
will
it's
not.
okay. You can.
Are you caught up?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
You can spoil it because I'll forget it by the time I
No, we
leave.
don't want to spoil it.
We won't spoil anything. It's still new.
Baby Yoda.
But yeah. As long as
Do you
everybody's
think when they
familiar-
were making that, they thought that meme would be as big, like that would turn into the meme of like the year, basically?
No, apparently Jon Favreau did not.
Really? I would have thought they would be hoping. I don't think they were sure, but I'm sure they're, hoping that they would.
Yeah.
Like that thing caught on so fast.
You had to know. I mean, but I think it's a pretty good indication that they didn't really know, in that there was no merchandise available like until, well, it's not really available until March of 2020.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think if they knew, they would have stuff out day of.
Is that because they didn't want to spoil Baby Yoda?
Well, that was part of it. So they wouldn't
Okay.
have released it beforehand, but still, to wait until March,
True.
like, that's a long
Yeah.
wait. Like, they could have had it sort of in production.
True.
And then, with non-disclosure agreements and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was live action, so.
Yeah.
There's people did see Baby Yoda.
They were around, yeah, exactly. So anyway, I think this is the one show that people are talking about more than any other this year.
All right.
So I will go with that as my hit.
That is a hit. Tammy.
Well, if you don't know me, which you guys might not know this, but I'm really into obscure cartoons. So I was really happy when Adult Swim came to Canada.
Oh, yeah?
That was my big
Good.
thing. Now, I got to be honest, it's not as good as it was when I watched it in
Never
the
is.
States, right? Because they only have a limited amount of shows that they're airing, but I still love, if you know Aqua Teen Hunger Force and all those bizarre shows that, for me, that animator in me, that's what I really enjoyed watching. So I was really excited about that. I'm hoping that they bring some other things to it. But for me, one of the shows on Netflix was Final Space. If anybody's watched that, if
I have
you
not
like
seen that.
No, I've heard
you
really good
gotta
things.
see it's animation, right? And I'm all about animation, so but I really enjoyed it, and I won't give it away. It's not what you think it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and they're in
okay.
their second season, or they're done their second season. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
it's
All right.
I would say that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Excellent endorsement.
Yeah, thank you.
I haven't
Thank
seen
you.
it, but now that you've endorsed it, now I'll
You
check it
should
out.
definitely. It's very sweet. Yes.
And do they have Harvey Birdman on? I used to
They
love.
do, they
I
do.
loved Harvey Birdman.
I was too young for that. It did not make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
I need
You
to
gotta
maybe
watch it
revisit
now.
that.
Yeah.
I just loved how they bring all the Hanna-Barbera characters
It's
back.
bizarre.
that's what I didn't
Steve
understand.
Colbert's
Yeah,
voice.
that's
Yeah,
right.
it's
Really?
fantastic. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I
I
had
love,
no
there's,
idea.
have you ever watched Harvey Birdman?
Back in the day, like years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got to
totally
watch it
forgot
now.
about it.
The,
Space Ghost, all those shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I love the Harvey Birdman with the Super Friends, but they couldn't use the DC characters, so you just see like their feet and stuff.
Oh, really?
But they
It's
could use
amazing.
the ones that they created for Hanna-Barbera created,
yeah.
like,
Right.
like Apache Chief
Yes.
and those and Black Lightning, and like
Oh,
they
that's
used
awesome.
them,
Right.
But they couldn't use like the
the
regular
Batman and the
the
that's
Wonder
so
Woman stuff.
fun.
Yeah, if you like cartoons, I mean, I always describe it as cartoons for adults, but that kind of sounds wrong. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, they're not meant for kids
Right.
necessarily. But
More
yeah,
mature.
I mean, they still have like Bob's Burgers and which is one of my favorites.
I love
but
that
yeah,
show.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
great show.
Greg,
So we're talking our favorites?
Yeah, this is the hit.
hits.
The hits. Okay, wow. Because, yeah, obviously I would probably lean towards Mandalorian, but I don't want to be that guy. I'll pick something different.
I'll be that guy.
You're that
Larry
guy
will
now.
be
You
that
picked it.
guy.
So I gotta be another guy.
Okay.
So I'd have to say if I want to pick a hit series that I couldn't get enough of, that was actually a surprising hit for me was The Purge season 2
No.
on Amazon Prime, and I always liked the idea of the movies The Purge, not as an
Yep.
actual reality. No, bad idea in reality, but a very entertaining one for suspense horror. It was just one of those kind of fresh ideas that came out of nowhere, and I remember saying to myself, this would make a great TV series if they, they can tell a bunch of people's stories and do it all in one night. But the second series is done leading up. It's literally the day after the Purge, all the way leading up to the next Purge, including that Purge.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
whereas the first season was one night, all done in one season.
Okay.
And this one they did a whole year arc, so it's different. And I know, I just thought it was kind of like, this is refreshing.
So they're
You know?
following the year like without purging?
Yeah,
'cause
there's
the year-
prepping for
prepping
purges.
for purge.
Prepping for purge.
Because
Prepping for purge,
That's what
okay.
it's called.
one of them
yeah.
is a bank heist.
What is happening right now?
Well, we all know the Purge is you
Yeah.
can get away with anything you want. That everybody
Well, you
thinks
gotta prep for the
murder,
Purge.
right?
Right.
No. That is wrong. But they're doing a bank heist instead. So this is like a whole like planning the bank heist, how they're going to do it, but you can also get away with doing whatever to get that money in that 12 hours or whatever that the
This is
purge
something.
takes place, or maybe it's 8 hours. I don't know. I can't remember the timeline. But I think
Yeah.
it's like, anyway, it was just kind of like,
That's
very
neat.
adult show. Like it's not meant for kids. It is an R-rated show, and Ethan Hawke makes an appearance in it.
Oh, does he really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, from the original as the designer of to protect homes for purges, and he even mentions that he's like, oh yeah, but I think it takes place before the movie, because he's like, oh yeah, we've been using it for years and it works great, but if you watch the movie it's like no. It didn't work so great.
Not so
So I
much.
think it's like before, it's like it takes place before the movie The Purge. So
Gotcha.
yeah, a good show. I highly recommend if you want something a little thriller and adult.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so for mine, I picked alternate heroes. So I picked The Boys. Like, so they have your normal DC and Marvel, but then there's all these offshoot shows. I'll even put Watchmen in there, even though I know that that's a DC property.
Right.
But they're not the main characters that you would see. And also Umbrella Academy. I'd throw that in there
forgot
too.
about that.
Yeah.
So good.
Because those are great shows. I thought all of them were fantastic. I love The Boys.
Me
I
too.
like
Yeah.
I like the.
Great show.
Did you see? Yeah, I
Loved
the
it.
I love the concept of it, and it was like just fast paced, and like I just like the idea of these heroes being corporate as opposed to like just. They're not doing it for the wrong reasons.
Oh yes.
So for those of us who haven't watched it yet,
Yes.
what is the premise of the Boys?
Yeah, I
'Cause
haven't watched it
I
yet.
don't, I
I'm
don't
not gonna
really
lie.
The
know.
premise is that superheroes are like corporate, like they're like people like a company owns them, and they'll rent, like let's say Detroit needs a hero, they'll rent that hero to Detroit.
Okay.
So, but then there's
Wow.
there's like kind of a group of 7 that are like the main sort of like they're like the super friends
Justice
of
League,
like the
yeah.
Justice
Yeah,
League,
yeah.
and they're like the top dogs, but. They're like, if you go in the background of what they do, it's like there's nefarious. It's everything's like they look great on TV, but there's like a lot of stuff going in the background. Then there's other people who are the boys who are trying to like show what they really are.
Gotcha.
Like, so
Cool. All right.
it's really cool.
All right.
And apparently the series is like dumbed down from the graphic novel. Like the graphic novel is really like over the top. Like this is like dumbed down a tiny bit, but
Right.
really well done.
Perfect.
And it's shot in Toronto because
Yes.
Yes.
their Hall of Justice is like what's the name of that Roy Thompson Hall?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, but then they add a huge
Or is it City
skyscraper.
Hall, is it? Or no?
Yeah, I think it's Roy Thompson Hall.
Or that's a circular one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
that's
yeah,
Roy
and then they
Thompson
add a
is.
big like tower to the top of
Really?
it. So yeah,
That's
it looks
CGI.
cool.
Amazing.
It looked really cool. It's really cool.
All right.
All right, well
I'm in.
Let's go to fails.
All right.
All right.
TV fails.
I'm gonna start with Greg this time.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I talked about this one on my show very heatedly, and I will continue to do so now.
Okay.
What the heck
Yep.
was The Watchmen? What?
Interesting.
Oh.
That's called self-censorship.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I hated that show.
Really?
I hated it.
Because the
It was
critics are
so-
loving it. I haven't seen
was
it yet.
Such
I
a
haven't either.
waste of time, and it
Wow.
really required the viewer to know the source material, which I do.
Yeah.
I took a course in college about graphic,
too.
graphic novels, and we studied The Watchmen.
did too.
And I loved the movie. I loved the movie. I
Yeah.
thought Zack Snyder, he did a couple changes, but hey, cool.
Yeah.
So I was excited about The
Yeah.
Watchmen being a show and it taking place modern day after the events of Watchmen, but it relies so much on the source material. If you were just to watch that show not knowing too much about The Watchmen, you'd be like, what? Why is there slimy squids on the ground? Like,
Really?
what is going on? It really relied too much on the people to know, like, even some really deep stuff that was like in between. Like it was just written in text in the graphic novel, not even like picture panels. Just really, I was like, why? This is dumb. It just got.
So even knowing the source material, it's still
I did
didn't
not
translate?
like it. I was so
Wow.
disappointed. And you're either or. You either hate the movie and love the show, or hate the show and love the movie. So I'm the
Yeah, because
love
critics
the
are
movie.
praising this show.
Don't
This
know
is
why.
weird.
I'm glad
Okay,
it's not coming back.
What? Oh, it's not.
Apparently not.
That's what I've heard.
Damon
I heard
Lindoff or whatever was just like, yeah, I think it was just a one-off. I'm like,
I've
thank
heard
you.
that.
Thanks for
Oh,
doing
okay.
it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Bye-bye.
So now I want to watch it even more.
Yeah,
I know now. I'm like
curious
intrigued
now.
by it.
This is the most intriguing thing I've heard tonight so far.
I couldn't stand it. It was just like there was a couple glimmers of hope watching it, and then it just crumbled.
That's interesting because I've heard nothing but great things of how great this show is, and then Great Sheen comes in and just rips it apart, rips it a new one right there.
Does it actually have an ending?
Big Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik reference in there. Yeah.
That was well done.
Watchmen Hackpully.
That was well played.
I think I saw that quote on Rotten Tomatoes. It was like, Greg Sheen says,
Good.
Huh. But does it have an ending? Like, does it?
I guess it's like,
oh, God.
I don't
It
know.
stopped.
Yeah, it ended. And, thank you. It's like, please stop. So it did. So it did what I wanted it to do. Yeah, it was an ending, but it just really wasn't worth my investment. I'm like, I could have invested my viewing time on many more series that I haven't seen that people give me a lot of grief about, which was like, Breaking Bad I haven't seen yet. And, certain. So that's why I'm upset, because I've wasted my time watching this.
Oh, God.
Very awful show.
I was like literally just about to start it because I'd heard all these great
There was
things.
good ideas, but they just didn't pan out.
Wow, this is interesting.
This is
We
very
may have to have
controversial.
a follow-up podcast on this one when we finish watching this thing.
All right, Larry, I'm going to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay, so I scoured my list of TV that I watched this year, and I watched a fair bit. And the one show that stuck out for me...
It's going to be the same one as me.
Oh, God, I know
it.
exactly where this is going.
And it's a show that I wanted to love. I was so excited to watch. And I've stuck with this series for better or worse. And now I think I'm finally out after watching American Horror Story in 1984.
Yep.
I think that might be it for me.
Was that yours as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It would be.
I always want to try. And this
Yeah.
one looked actually really good.
It looked like it was going to be the comeback show of the century.
It was awful.
I thought. Did you see it?
Hot take. Loved it.
Oh, no, jeez.
Loop, did you see it?
I watched it.
Loved it.
Oh,
I didn't.
Really?
I for it to be like the best show of the year, but I thought it came back from a really bad point. I thought American Horror Story was dead, and then I thought this season was my cup of tea.
really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I
wanted
liked it.
to
It was
be.
very weird, but I liked it.
Oh, interesting. See,
There was a parts I liked. I love the concept.
Yeah.
The concept was amazing.
so if you haven't watched it yet, and we won't spoil it, just in case you choose to watch it. Essentially, it literally takes place in 1984, and they're doing the whole slasher horror film genre, and that's what this season was all about.
Sleepaway Camp,
Sleepaway
Friday
Camp.
the 13th.
Yeah, so they've taken all of those horror tropes from the
Everything.
80s and combined them all into this one series. So there's a serial killer, there's a summer camp.
We can spoil
there
this.
Are teenagers.
We've all seen it, so we're good.
Yeah, there are teenagers. They get killed off one at a time.
Counselors
There's
and-
counselors there's that's essentially the premise of the show.
But the acting.
And
See, there's a point.
Yeah.
What?
Was the acting good in those Friday the 13th Sleepaway Camp movies?
no, but they
it
had,
was
that was
different
actually
time.
1984. They didn't know how to act
They
back
didn't.
then.
It's different.
Acting
So
hadn't been developed in 1984.
I thought it was fine. I was like, hey, I'll let it go. The acting, I'll let it go because it kind of, it's a little wink at the genre. That's the way I thought.
There's some things I thought they could have done better. I thought I love the opener, how it was shot. Like, it looked like
Yes.
VHS.
Yeah.
The whole show
Always.
should have been done like that.
Except for the
always.
drone shot. There's one drone shot
the
that
old-
was
yeah,
an
there
intro
is.
where it's like coming up from like the dock.
right, yes.
I'm
Yes.
like, no.
No
no,
drone. No
That
drone.
didn't exist in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen
Yeah.
the show like with that sort of grunge
Yeah.
look, so that
Yes.
it looked like you're actually watching. And then when they jump ahead, you could have gone to normal,
Yeah.
like years
HD.
later.
I mean, it would have been super easy for them to put an effect on to make it look like it was.
Oh, yeah.
like it was like a lost movie. Do you know what I mean? Like a movie that was actually shot in
VCR,
1984.
like
Yes.
yeah.
That would have. I think to me that would have added a huge level of authenticity to it.
I wanted
That
to
was,
like it
For me,
so
it was
much.
just missing.
The one thing
Yeah.
I don't like about his shows, and I've seen them all, and I do enjoy them, is that every time there's an actor in it, if they die, like there's no stakes in these shows
Yes.
because they
Yeah.
always come back
They
as a
come
ghost.
back.
Yeah.
Every time, and
Yeah.
there's no stakes for me to watch and go, oh my god, they got killed. Okay, they're back the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one,
Yeah.
it was exactly the same way. Everybody who got killed came back as a ghost, but they came back as a ghost in the physical realm. Like they
Yes.
could like
You
interact
can-
with people.
yeah.
They looked like normal. So I'm like, wouldn't it be nice to be dead? You could just live on and be at summer camp all the time. That's nice.
Trapped at summer camp.
Yeah, that'd be fun. fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just and full disclosure, I didn't even watch the last episode. I got about
The last episode
15
wasn't that bad,
I
actually.
actually
Literally-
forgot about
You
it.
didn't even finish it.
I literally
Doesn't
got
count.
15 minutes into it. I got
Doesn't count.
15 minutes into it,
That's
and then
so
I was
I
like,
finished Watchmen.
what else is on?
I forgot I still have the last
Yeah, I
episode because
still do.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
The last
and then
one
I
wasn't
found
that
it.
bad. I thought
Yeah.
it was a kind of a neat little twist in it. Like,
Okay.
but I was the one thing I thought was the biggest fail in it, and this will spoil the last episode.
Yeah.
I don't care.
This is the biggest fail by far in this.
Okay.
Billy Idol doesn't show up in it.
Yeah.
As himself.
Well,
Yeah.
They build up the entire show how this guy loves Billy Idol, and this is Billy Idol's going to be headlining this.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Kasha Gugu.
Billy Idol's still alive.
Gugu.
Like, he should have made at least a cameo, if nothing else
and,
in it.
And the thing
True.
is that they in Coven, when they did Coven, they had Stevie
Yeah,
Nicks.
yeah, they sure did.
In there.
I didn't watch that one, by the
You
way.
didn't? Oh, that's a good
What-
one. That's a
I've
really
heard
good
mixed
scene.
things about that
It wasn't one
too.
of my favorites either.
Oh, really? So I actually really like that one.
That was one of my favorite ones, actually.
Freak
I
Show
like
was
Freak
great.
Show. That
Yeah.
was my
Oh, I didn't mind
favorite.
Freak Show.
Asylum was good.
And
I liked
Asylum.
Asylum.
Original was good.
Yeah.
Original was the
Yeah.
best.
I think
And
if
that
you
was
could just
about
do a
it.
trilogy of the American Horror
That's-
Stories, I think the first three.
Yes.
See,
Yes,
but I
you're right.
loved Coven, and I liked what was the one before
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, because Coven, the Coven.
Wow, so you're the one.
Yeah, well, Coven because the witches were such a big part of that, and it was like I loved that whole storyline.
This is like, I think this has become the most divisive show on TV.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I honestly think it has. I think there's so like people either love it or hate it. There's nobody who's like, yeah, it's fine. I you know, it's either
It'll
either
keep
people
coming
are all
back,
in it.
too.
Well, I think they've got it. Well, they've got at least one more season. I don't know if they've got two, but I think they're coming close.
And
to
I'll
wrapping
watch
up.
it. You'll watch it.
Of course I will.
You'll watch
I
it.
will
We'll
still
watch it.
The other problem with this one too is it reminded me of Scream Queens, his
Oh,
other show,
yes.
which he
Yes.
also did. It was very.
I watched
That
it.
could
Yeah.
have been a season of Scream Queens, like
Yeah, it was the same,
Yes.
same
Yeah.
cast.
yeah,
It
same,
was the
basically
same-
same
yeah.
cast.
Wait
So I
for
was like,
Chaz
Yeah.
to show up.
It was yes,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah. So that's on my fail TV list this year.
All right, we got a double fail on that one. That was like
Yeah,
a two-time,
wow, that's
I had a feeling that was going to happen.
All right, my fail on TV, and mark my words,
No, I will mark them.
Dark Crystal was my fail of this year.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
I don't think the show looked great.
Yeah.
It was amazing to look at.
Yeah.
I think they missed the mark on it. I think I watched the whole thing. It was boring. It was slow. It was like nothing. Like it was nothing happened, and it was too dark. I think for the audience they were looking for, which would be kids.
Yeah.
Like there's a part where one of the monster, I can't remember which one it is, but beats these two like characters that are just like slaves, beats them to death.
Podlings.
Yeah, I'm like, what is
Yeah.
going on? Like, they're literally beating them to death and kills them.
Really?
And I'm like, this is really dark.
Yes.
Like, I know it's the Dark Crystal, but like they're making it for like a young, like when we were young and watching the original movie.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
It was
was
creepy,
creepy,
but that's
But it wasn't
different.
violent. It
No.
wasn't
Yeah.
violent.
like this was
anyway.
violent to be violent sometimes.
Yeah.
They missed the mark, I thought, on it. Like, looked great, fantastic production values. I just
Yeah.
thought they missed the mark.
So
So, Lawrence, now that I know that you've seen the whole thing because you praised it when it came out. We've talked about this before. How much he, mark my words, this is going to be the show of the year. I remember him saying,
I
how was
praised
it when you finally watched the whole thing? Because I know you did. I know you did.
Let me just clarify. I praised the show before it came out. Long before it came out, I was praising the show because before it came out, it was amazing. It
Yes.
was the best show on TV.
Yep.
And then it came out, and I'm still only 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it either.
It is so slow.
I may have 2 episodes to go.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I have to agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
It looked good, but it was very slow.
Yeah,
Like,
I was.
and plus, I didn't know who was who for the longest time. It's very confusing. Like, the plot is confusing. Of
Yeah,
it.
Too many gelflings.
It did.
Simple. The first one, there's 2.
And that was
a male
it.
and a female.
That's right.
That's it.
One of them flew, one of them
It took
didn't.
me-
That's all you need.
It took me 3 episodes to figure out who the main characters were.
Yeah.
Like,
That's always good.
You know what I mean? And then you finally lock them in. I'm like, okay, now I know who the main sort of characters are in
Yeah,
this.
I think so. Here's why I think it was so disappointing for me when I first started watching it, and why I haven't actually finished it, is because the original story was very almost innocent. Like, it was sweet and
Yeah.
it was innocent. Like, it had those 2 characters. The story was very simple and clean, and that's what was kind of nice about it. It was just like a very simple, kind of nice story, fun story to watch. But this one, like you said, they made it so convoluted and so many characters and so much backstory. It lost that magic. that the
Yeah.
original one had, and
That's fair.
it still looked the same. Like it looked the same. It looked better. Like I mean, a lot of the scenes, like like it was all physical and puppets, and it looked amazing. But it wasn't the same as the movie. And I think that's what I was so excited about when I saw the trailers. Is that I was so excited that we were going to get that same sort of story again. And it was going to be that same lovable kind of fun thing. And then it turned into this, like you said, this dark, violent thing. And I was like, it's not the way I remember it.
Yeah, it was a mess big time.
Yeah, unfortunately. I haven't heard anything about a second season.
I'm not watching anything else with puppets anymore. I'm done. My puppet days are way.
What happened to Crank Yankers? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're reviving that.
Oh,
heard,
no.
Yeah, I've heard that they,
Now the jerky boys are going to come back, too.
Oh, my God.
Gotta find my tape cassettes.
Oh, boy. You got Jerky Boys 3? Let's go into my closet and let's do it because my parents will get really mad if they know I have it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Jerky.
You got headphones?
All right, let's move on to hits and movies.
Wait a second. Was that your?
Yeah,
okay,
that was
we're
mine.
good. You're good.
There's no
Tammy? All right.
question. That
Okay,
was
good.
mine.
All right, I'll start off with this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say Avengers Endgame was my favorite of the year,
yep.
by far, and it finished the Infinity Saga so well. It was everything I kind of wanted out of it, and it ushers in a whole new era of Marvel. And I'm a big Marvel Comics fan, so I thought this was like the best.
Yeah.
And I could have gone with something else, but I had to go with this. This was
Yes.
like, if this was not on anybody's list, then it would be sad if it wasn't. Like,
It would make you sad.
It was just so good, so good. I thought the Spider-Man after wasn't really needed.
Yeah.
But
The Homecoming or
yeah,
Coming
home or
whatever it was called.
Home Again or
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Home Again.
On Vacation or whatever it's called. Like,
European vacation.
Yeah.
But and like, I mean, we've all seen it. I thought it was just amazing, and I think that was. Hopefully, they can follow it up with the next phase.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So far, I'm not 100%. I wasn't a big fan of. Oh no, Captain Marvel was before. Never mind.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a big fan of that one.
Nah.
But yeah, Spider-Man was good.
Yeah,
It didn't make me go, I'm super pumped for Phase 4. So
Well, it was just sort of
we're
like
gonna get into
an
it. It was a
afterthought
bridge.
almost. It didn't really make sense.
Contractually.
It was like
Yeah,
it was like a bridge episode.
Yeah, let's get him in there one more time before the contract expires.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's more just a reminder that Iron Man was dead. That was
Yeah,
really all it was. It was
pretty
like,
much,
oh, don't
yeah.
forget he's dead. Yeah, we got that.
Not coming back.
We figured that out.
Thank
Okay.
you.
But yeah, that was my hit. So let's
That's
go
a good one.
to Greg.
Ah, yes. I definitely did pick this one I was like, okay, I know what my favorite movie is. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Loved that. I teetered on
Loved
the edge
it.
of that one.
I was one of those ones I just didn't want to end. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, keep going.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to watch. I love a good Quentin Tarantino movie is such a treat. And,
Yeah.
and that was, made me feel like I was there. There's a couple movies that do that where they can physically take me and put me into, whatever. I'm sitting in the back seat as far as I'm concerned, listening to conversations. And it feels like you're there and you're in that era because it's just so well shot and so well written. And just the ending was just crazy because you just like, where's that Tarantino moment? Oh boy, here
Yep.
we're
And it
in it
hit
now.
hard.
Oh my! I knew there was going to be something, and I didn't spoil it for myself beforehand. I knew it was going to be. I had a couple of ideas, but man, I really loved it. Great flick, and highly recommend if anybody wants to watch. Something that's. Pulls you into the 60s, the late 60s. That's it.
It was one of the few Tarantino movies where I almost stood up and cheered in that last scene.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
almost like, yes,
Yes.
this is so great.
So crazy.
I got a little emotional on that, a little excited. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that one. I think it was the movie that Tarantino was born to make.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm quite
Yeah.
surprised he hasn't.
It was
took
in him the
this
whole time,
long to make his love letter to Hollywood.
Yep.
Essentially, and to show off the Hollywood that he grew up in and that he remembers and that inspired him, and like every genre that has inspired his movies, the Western, the Kung Fu movies, they were all represented in this movie. Like it was literally like a best of. This was like a best of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Great.
It was missing puppets, but it had everything else.
Well, you would have been out. If you
Yeah,
were
I would have just left the theater.
Puppet free.
Yeah,
Puppet free.
that is a good hit right there.
Yeah, for sure. That was a great movie. Tammy.
Sadly, I have not seen many movies this year, which is it didn't dawn on me until you asked me that question. I'm like, whoa. So I literally just saw the Star Wars movie, which I haven't been to a theater in a long time.
Wow.
That's really sad.
Okay.
I guess I'd been working too hard in 2019.
Come on.
I'm changing
What, you
things
mean
up.
working
But
every day isn't enough for you? Like, come on.
when I'm not here. But I did just see Dolomite Is My Name on, and it was not geeky, but it was a really good
But it does
movie.
feel it fits into the blacksploitation.
That's
like,
true. Yeah, it was very well done. I enjoyed it a lot.
That's the Eddie Murphy. Is that the
It's Eddie Murphy.
Murphy,
Yeah. Good cast. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Lawrence knows I do love a good Dolomite.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched Dolomite first again because I've seen it like
That-
1,000
yeah.
times.
I've never seen the original.
You've never
I know,
seen it?
I know
Oh my
of
God,
it, but
Greg.
I never see. I know.
It's amazing.
I know. I was never got too deep into the blaxploitation.
I've got a lot of the movies.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm a big
Yeah.
movie
If you
Yeah.
want any of the blaxploitation, he's got literally the archive.
It's
Yeah.
the best.
of
I love it.
blaxploitation
It's
movies.
just so
Yeah.
it's such a limited budget, and they had to make these movies. I remember watching. I think it was Foxy Brown, like the but like the commentary.
Yeah.
And he's like, we had $500,000, and almost all that went to Pam Grier. Because the more popular she got, the more they charged.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
then so he said, if you watch these movies, because he did a series. I can't remember what the director's name was. He did a series of them, and he said you'll see the same outfits, the same briefcases, the same, like it's the same.
Yeah.
Because they had to cheap out on everything in order to make it.
Pam Grier.
It was yeah.
Bring
No,
your
I
wardrobe
really.
from home, everybody.
Probably.
I have to say that was like I can't think of another movie that I've watched a lot of movies from home, right?
Right,
Just,
yeah.
I get home and put something on, but I sat here and went, oh my gosh, I haven't seen any movies.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
But the nice thing about movies now is that a lot of them are being released on Netflix.
That's it.
Almost
So
like
that's
day
how
and
I
date,
watch.
same time.
So
which
chances
is
are, if
kinda
you said
nice.
something, I'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I did see. Oh yeah, I guess I did see that. But when I was trying to think of actual theater experience, when we went to see Star Wars, I don't think I went to a proper theater, with the reclining chairs and everything, in like a year.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a treat.
I do go to Western film sometime, not to promote Western film, but it's just there, right? And it's cheap and everything. But I got to tell you, going after not going for some time and going, what? $21 for popcorn?
Oh, I know.
That'd be a bit of a
What?
shocker. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a shock. But yeah,
Go to the Dollarama and stuff.
Yeah, seriously. Smuggle it in under
Just
your
don't
shirt.
bring in a can of Coke. It'll give you away.
someone did that. Someone did that beside me.
You
yeah.
just know that
Yeah.
you got to bring in a twist cap.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's where I stand.
Yeah, I went with my wife and kids. It was like, so I have 35 kids, and I have 2 kids, and it was like $100 for the 4 of us to go.
To one
Isn't that
movie.
sick?
Yeah, it
How
was like
much?
100. It was like almost $100.
Oh,
With
my.
food.
See a
and-
movie.
With food, with
Yeah.
everybody popcorn and the movie.
It's
and
not
the,
gonna
I mean,
play. Like it's a movie.
Like tickets are $15 a piece, so 4 people, that's $60
That's
right there just
Yeah.
to get in the door.
yeah, they make their money off concessions. That's
do,
why everything's so
yeah.
expensive.
$21. That's
That
all I said
is
was, "Are you kidding me right now? $21? I should have brought my own popcorn." But I guess I
got a
can't be that person.
You can hear it popping in the back.
Hi guys.
The air popper going.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
awesome.
it.
So Larry hasn't done his.
All right, well, I'm sticking with my guns here, and I'm going the old Star Wars route.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna- yeah.
There can't be a year when I don't praise Star Wars more than I probably should. But I have to, having seen Rise of Skywalker 3 times now.
Wow.
What?
I have to say that it was the movie for me that sort of stuck the landing. And you know what I mean? And this one was the make or break. Like, it had to do it. It had to wrap up the saga. It had to bring storylines together. It had to be good. And it
Yeah,
was.
it
And
was good.
I thought it was great. It was as Star Warsy as you get. Tons of action and emotion and funny. It was one of the funnier episodes, I thought. Like, it was
Yeah.
really well written. I just thought there was so much hype and so much pressure on this movie to perform, and I feel like it did. So I think here was my problem with this category.
Okay.
There were a lot of really good movies.
Oh no,
this
it
year.
was crazy. Yeah, I know.
A lot. Let me just list a couple that
Okay.
I want to
almost
see if
made
I've
my
seen
list.
any of them.
Almost made my list. All right, ready? John Wick 3, excellent movie. How to Train Your Dragon Part 3. Nothing.
Didn't see it.
I just haven't
it
seen
wrapped
it.
up. No, it was animation. Loop is out. It was really good. It wrapped up the trilogy
I
too.
like animation. I'm not a big Disney fan.
I'm not either.
This is
I
not
don't
Disney.
know.
This is DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
You're all the same.
Yeah.
You can watch this
Spielberg.
one. Yeah, this is Spielberg. This is you can appreciate this. The Doctor Sleep and It
I
Chapter
haven't
2.
seen Dr. Sleep yet.
Those were It Chapter 2. I thought
I
was
didn't
really
like
good.
it. It was
a bit controversial. Not everybody liked it.
No,
I
it's too
enjoyed
slow.
that
It
one.
just didn't match the pace of the first
Yeah,
one.
I get that. Midsummer.
I love that movie.
What an amazing movie.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I
I
Where
didn't
have
like
I
Hereditary.
been?
This is totally different.
Oh, good.
Totally different.
Because
yeah.
I just could not stand Hereditary.
Oh no!
I loved Hereditary.
Yeah,
too.
too. But
What a
you
cop-out at the
you
end,
could go.
anyway.
You could go into this one. It's a totally different. It was a great movie. Toy Story 4. I know
It's kind of like the
Luke's
new
not in.
Wicker Man. Like
Yes.
you seen Wicker Man?
Which one? The remake or the original?
The
No.
original.
We don't
I've seen
discuss
bits
the
and
remake.
pieces.
Yeah, it was it stuck with me for like days.
Days. Like it's disturbing.
it's very disturbing.
Yeah, but it's really really good.
Now I want to see it.
And speaking of disturbing, Toy Story 4.
Oh yes, no, it was good.
That was great. And of course, Joker.
Yeah.
I forgot about I
Joker.
totally forgot about Joker.
I know,
Joker
right?
was great, yes.
Joker was just a notch down from
that was
from
crazy.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker for me. There were a lot of really solid movies in 2019. So
Let's see if any of those movies are on our worst list.
it was interesting.
We'll see.
It
So
was
I think
a-
we've all done our
Yeah.
hits, right? Okay. Fails. Let's go back to Larry for the
Oh,
fail.
all right.
All right. Back to back.
Unfortunately, this is a movie I went into with really high expectations because it was the director's second film and I really loved his first film, and I went into this one and was totally disappointed, and it's a movie called Us. Does it?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. No, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw
Crickets?
it. Yeah,
I
no,
saw
I
it.
saw it. I saw
Okay,
it, yeah.
all right. So it's Jordan Peele's second movie after doing Get Out.
Oh.
And Get Out was fantastic. I
Yeah.
loved that movie, and I even liked the Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele's remake of the Twilight Zone.
Didn't see it.
It was really good. It was solid. I'm like, Jordan Peele's on a roll. Like, this is great. I was super excited to go see his second movie, and I was so disappointed. And I know it's gotten like rave reviews, and the critics loved it, and people keep talking about what makes it good and all that. And I don't know, maybe I missed something, but I could not find a story that made any sense, and I couldn't connect to any of the characters. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care if you guys live or die. It doesn't matter to me because they didn't relate to me, and I just didn't find that what they were doing in the movie made any sense. Like, kids were picking up weapons and killing people, like and then sitting down to dinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does an
normal.
8-year-old pick up a thing and kill, and then the dead body is right behind you while you're having your dinner? Like, that's not a normal behavior for an 8-year-old kid.
Yeah, but they weren't real. Like they were they're the.
But they didn't know that at the time. They didn't know who they were. Just sort of intruders in their home. They didn't know that they were. What are they called? I can't remember what they were called. But they're I was just like
The people that live under the city?
Yeah, the people who live under the stairs.
Your carbon copies that
Yeah.
live under subterranean
ground.
carbon copies.
The chuds.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes.
Yep, they are the chuds.
Always a good day when a chud reference hits the ether.
I like enjoyed it enough. Like I thought it was all right. I wasn't blown away by it like I was with Get Out. Like Get Out was really kind of a cool like concept.
Yes.
It had like a lot more character to it. I agree with you that there wasn't a lot of character in this movie.
Yeah.
It just sort of like hit the ground running, and I was like, "What's going on?" It was freaky. There was some freaky parts in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I believe the concept.
Well,
Like,
that was the whole. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it?
Don't worry, I will forget it.
Okay.
Like, my memory is terrible. So please tell me, and I'll be like, I don't remember.
I hardly remember what happened. In
See?
it.
Essentially, it was somehow scientists at some point had figured out a way to make carbon copies of everybody.
Oh,
like
yeah.
literally
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
on the
yeah.
planet has a doppelganger who lives underground, and they do nothing but live underground and eat rabbits. And somehow they've managed to live lifetimes with no sunshine, eating only raw rabbit. And they look fit, and they're happy, and they're procreating, and they're living their
They hang out in
Why
classic
rabbits?
mirror funhouses.
And
Is there a reason for rabbits?
I don't know.
I don't know. They never explained that, but that's what they
bizarre.
do. And I'm like, first of all, I can't imagine like anybody even surviving that. Like that doesn't make. Anyway, it was very convoluted, and I didn't get it.
I can see how it would be disappointing after Get Out, like,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. So that was my fail movie of the year.
All right, I'm going to come after you because mine's kind
boy.
of similar because in that Jordan Peele had a great first movie and not so good a second one. I'm gonna go with M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Yes,
And I'm
my
gonna go
favorite.
with Glass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought Glass was really disappointing. Like, because first he builds it up like, oh, now this is a trilogy after what were the other two?
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable,
and
yeah.
Split.
And so this is gonna be a trilogy, and then it just to me, like nothing happened in it. Like there was a lot of talking. And them in straitjackets, and then they're supposed to have this big battle, and it just took place outside the hospital. It's like
it's
it's
a
like
parking
you didn't have
lot
enough
battle.
budget to go on location or something. Like it was
just in the parking lot.
yeah, like it was the whole thing took.
in the parking lot.
I'm like, so where's it going from here? No, it's just in the parking lot, and they catch them, and then it's like, okay, that's done.
And then everybody's dead.
Yeah, it just like,
end.
it was. I just thought it was just it failed. I thought like
Yeah.
on many levels.
It wasn't because I loved Unbreakable. I still think it's a great movie.
Great movie.
And
Really
Split
good.
was
And
fantastic.
I really liked Split, and so I did the same thing. I went in thinking, wow, this is going to be brilliant. I liked it more than you did, but I agree. Like I could see why people were like, 'cause
Yeah, like I didn't
was
hate
almost-
it, but it was like it was to me to make it like a trilogy.
Yeah.
like it just I'm like this was not a good part of it.
No,
Like,
and
it's-
the problem was that it was like Unbreakable came out in the like mid '90s or
Yeah.
late '90s. It's
Yeah,
a
I want
long
to say
time.
like 99.
Yeah, or maybe even 2000. Like, but I think maybe the 90s.
Yeah, I think so.
It had been like 10 years that this story started. Like, it should have. I think he rushed it. I think
He saw
'cause
an
it was-
opportunity and was just like, oh, I better just get her done.
Because Split came out like I don't know, 8 years later. I mean, like a long time had passed before Split came out, and then Glass came out like the next year or the year.
and then
like,
then they
really
had like
quick.
the cameo at the end, right? And everyone's like, oh my god, there's like it's all in the same universe.
The Guardian.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. But yeah, I agree.
I just thought it just failed, and it was like ugh.
Yeah,
Nothing happened in it. Like,
fair enough.
All right. Anyway, all right, Tammy.
Well, I kind of took this a different direction in that with the worst film as far as trailers go, only because when Sonic the Hedgehog came out.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing. So everybody was all freaking out, right? Because he had human teeth and
It was
weird
freaky
eyes,
looking.
and it was horrible.
And he was like
right?
6 feet tall.
And it was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
But I still, and maybe things have changed because I haven't really followed it since, but I really felt like what a genius marketing ploy this was, because I really don't think they ever were going to use that Sonic in the movie, because they then said, oh, well, we're going to redo the whole movie and everything else. And me being in the field, like I used to teach in video game design, I know how long that takes.
Yeah.
And there's no way they just went, you know what, we're going to redo the whole movie because someone on social media started this whole ban, right? We're not
Yeah.
going to go see it, and how dare you? And suddenly out comes cute little Sonic.
Yeah, not very long.
Right?
Like a
Not
month
long
or two later,
after.
Like very quickly.
So I think it was a genius marketing ploy, but I also think it was, I don't know. I just don't think it ever existed in the way that they promoted it. That's my
That's a
feeling.
really interesting
That
take
is,
on
I've
that.
never
Actually,
heard
my
that.
feeling
people
about
were
it.
up in arms.
Oh, they were
There's nothing worse when people screw up source material.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like there's a character there. Why are you making him look so like
Ridiculous.
They're trying to
so
humanize him
wrong.
so much.
Yes, yeah.
Just
It,
creepy.
it wasn't even just like, oh, his hair is the wrong color or his fur's wrong. It was,
Everything.
what's that?
Totally
right?
different thing. And the thing was, they were starting with an animated character. Like it wasn't like they were starting with a live action thing and then making it animated.
Yeah.
They
So
had-
that's what I think. So I think it was genius in that it brought so much attention to this movie. And then they put it out there and they went, oh, they listened to us, right? Oh my gosh, they listened to us. And now
Yeah.
this wonderful Sonic is going to come out with this cute little face and everything's so wonderful.
We'll
I
see.
don't,
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if
Will
that
it break
actually
the curse?
happens.
Well, that's
Right? But now I think it gives that the audience on the internet to be able to say, we don't like that, change that. Sonic
Yeah,
got
that's right.
changed, right? So
Yeah.
let's just change it. But there's no way they changed an entire movie in that
it
time.
had that budget
They had
too.
planned
And
to
had
have
the
that
bu-
hard
That'd be the
drives.
most expensive part.
Post. It's all post.
Yeah.
No.
That
like
seems-
there's
that seems a
no
little
way.
strange. Yeah.
So that's where I went with this. Plus, I haven't seen that many movies to be able to
Yeah, that's
say.
fine. That's fine. Sonic was the
We've done that
gritty of
wrong.
last year.
Yeah.
The gritty
Yes.
of last year. It was like frightening in every sense of the word.
That is excellent.
All right, Greg.
Pretty easy for me. Well, it wasn't easy to. I was like, I know there's a bad movie. I had to scroll through the worst movies
Oh,
on
yeah,
my
yeah.
phone. But as soon as it came out, I was like, that's right. That would be Dark Phoenix.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, wow. That was bad.
was
It's
not
just a
good.
bad movie. I don't have to go into too much detail about it. It's just a bad, kind of rushed, all right, let's get this last X-Men movie out there that'll finish this franchise before it goes to Marvel. Well, because it was part of the Fox,
Right.
Now it's part of the Marvel now. So they were just rushed it out. Let's just get it out there and just get it done. And you could tell it was rushed. No one cared. Even like the writer director said afterwards, like, yeah, it's pretty bad. When they say it's pretty bad, I think Fantastic Four was another one that was like the director's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. My bad. So the same thing with this one. So it was just bad. It was a really bad way to end off X-Men. Like even Apocalypse was but it was this one. Dark Phoenix was brutal.
Yeah, it was not great. The thing with this whole X-Men, like the whole lineage of X-Men movies, some cool characters, Wolverine's iconic as far as but the problem is that they don't timeline well. They're like the Terminator movies where the timelines do not match. Yeah. At any it's just weird how they all excuse me. How they go together.
They don't age. We've seen them since the 60s in the last 4 movies.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to take place in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
And they look like they've aged about 6 years.
Yeah. Make sense.
Not even any gray. Or come on. And then you can tell
that was supposed to take place in the 90s. I didn't even know it took place in the 90s.
Franchise.
Yeah.
It was just terrible. I don't remember too much about it, to be honest. It was just very forgettable.
That was what my reaction to it. I went to the theater, and the theater was in a mall. I finished the movie and went to the mall, walked around, and literally an hour into the mall, I said to myself, oh, right, I just saw Dark Phoenix. I had literally an hour later completely forgotten I'd even seen it.
Yeah, very forgettable.
God.
I knew it was bad when the last shot, they show the sky and they show the Phoenix fire, the bird going through the sky. I'm like, okay, that was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
So cheesy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that good call on that one. Yep.
Yeah, that one needed to be brought up for sure.
It earned its place in the Hall of Fame.
All right, let's go to hits in other category. Other category, ladies and gentlemen. Other. So I'll start this one off. I'm going to, because my voice is dying.
Yep.
AEW, I think, was for me, is the big hit of this year, which is the new Wrestling Federation.
Yep.
Awesome. We've talked about it in the podcast before, but just awesome production value. They need to work out some kinks in it for sure. It's not perfect by any stretch, but the production value, everything is, and they've got the wrestling's good. I think it was just a big hit this year, and I think WWE took notice, and that's the big thing. If WWE takes notice, then you've done something right. Yeah. So, but I'm not gonna say much more about it because it's not a wrestling podcast. But I really thought they took a chance on it, and they had a lot of money backing it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. So,
we're still here. Everybody left.
I know. I had to mention it. Okay.
Guys!
Okay, Greg.
I didn't study this one, did I? Come back to me.
All right. Okay. I went this year with a category with video games.
Nice.
I kind of went.
The big hit for me in the video game realm, because I like Star Wars, is
What?
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, I still have yet to play that.
It is phenomenal. It's some of the best storytelling, Star Wars or not, that I've seen in a video game in a
looks cool.
in a long
Yeah.
time. Visually, it's stunning. It's just so immersive, and so it takes you to different worlds, and it takes you to worlds that you're familiar with. I don't know if I should say things. Should I spoil? None of you guys have played it. Should I say?
You won't spoil
Okay,
it for me.
It
but
doesn't.
I don't know.
I mean, anyway, it takes you to planets that you've seen in the movies.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say specifically which ones, but you get to actually explore them.
Ooh, cool.
I
So
like
yeah,
that.
there are 2 specific ones that are really, really cool that you have heard about, you've seen little bits of, but then you actually get to wander around. You get to do things. You get to see the creatures that live on these planets and kill them.
It sounds really violent.
Yeah, it is. That's quite violent. But it's literally one of the best Star Wars stories that has been around forever. Plus, it's revived the whole Star Wars video game market, because they had Battlefront, which was really good.
Yeah.
But then they had Battlefront 2, which didn't do quite as well because it had some issues with like micro purchases and
it's fixed
crazy
now.
thing. Yeah,
they've kind
better.
of just thrown anything at you for free just to be like,
we're doing all right. But it ran into some issues
Yeah.
and stuff like that. This one revived it, and this one has brought that back. And it's like if you get a chance, I'm playing it on PS4, but I think it's also available for, on Xbox.
PS4, that's
it's 100% worth it. It is so good, so good.
All right, Tammy.
For me, when I was thinking of things that I did this year,
Besides work,
I feel like I've done, where have I been? No, it's all the conventions, all the nerdy conventions that I get to go to, and Fan Expo and the local ones, right? I don't want to promote specific ones, but just all of them in general.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed it.
cons,
We have great conventions here and great people running them. So I'm always thrilled to be a part of them and hosting Q&As and doing all the fun stuff. But just that it's still, a family vibe. We go there and it's like, oh, hey, and everybody knows each other. And it's still that, we're not going in there and getting bullied and making fun of people and everything. It hasn't turned into that. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But I just find that it's just still so much fun.
But
And I just look forward to it.
Yeah, it's a great place for people like-minded people to come together, right? Like if you ever have anybody that comes with you that's not really that big into the geek world, they are blown away of like what they see at a Comic-Con. Like they're just, what is happening around right now?
And I'm not one for I don't care about the guests as much as I care about the stuff they bring in, like the lightsaber at Fan Expo,
That stuff's cool.
It's that sort of thing, and just speaking with people who make their own cosplay and that sort of thing. But of course, if there's someone really cool there, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I met Lorraine Newman, and that for me was bizarre and amazing at the same time. I grew up watching her. I'm like, and I was dressed as an Ewok, of course, right? So she's like, oh, hello. Hi there. Crazy.
She was also a conehead, so she should
not. But I just look forward to that, and I know it starts up again soon, so that's what I look forward to.
Yeah. And just the fact that it's becoming more mainstream, so that there are more of them, and people are like people who are not geeky accept that
It's
they
a
exist
thing.
and that's a real thing, and it's kind of cool. Like when I tell people we're going to Fan Expo, they're like, "Oh, wow,
cool.
really?" That's it's kind of like, it's like the Canadian version of San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like the mecca of all things geek, and everybody knows it, and everybody looks forward to it. If you can't go there, you still like on Twitter and all
You're
of
still
social
checking it
media
out.
trying to find out what's happening at Hall H.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
Waiting for those trailers to drop.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's great.
So that's me.
Yeah.
All right, Greg.
Okay, so
I feel like we've just ordered dinner and you haven't quite figured out what you're having on the menu.
at a restaurant. So that's fair enough. For me, this is more of a personal thing, but it's kind of like a rediscovery of something that and it's no big news that vinyl is a thing again, and you collect. So I've been now really upgraded my sound system at home to the point where I'm like, this is it. I'm happy. Yeah. So now I put on a record and I have that feeling of when I was a child, listening to music and listening to specific albums as well. It could be anywhere from the Star Wars soundtrack to to Duran, whatever, or something brand new like 21 Pilots, whatever. A couple of new albums like the new Tribe Called Quest album, like a couple but it's so good, and I could sit there for hours, and I'm finding myself now building Star Wars Lego, and listening to records and just getting up to flip sides or change the record. Yeah. And it's just so therapeutic.
So nice.
I just did that today.
That's awesome.
And it was just like, that's like, people do hot yoga, whatever. I think that
hot
is just
Lego is what you're doing.
Lego and vinyl, thank you, plastic.
This is the new Netflix and chill.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yes.
Lego and
vinyl.
vinyl and chill. Yeah. So it was. Yeah, that's kind of just one thing that really I'm happy with, and it's just a lot of people are buying vinyl. It outsold CDs last year.
That's crazy.
That's insane. So just to say something about that genre, but that's what a fad that I'm really happy about and brings me back. It's got nostalgia, but it's also got that just really satisfying, relaxed feel to it.
There's something really satisfying about actually physically taking the needle and putting it down on the
Carefully.
edge, carefully, so you're not like putting it into the song, or even better, trying to put it between songs so you can hear the one you want. Like try to line it up perfectly in a tiny groove between songs.
You gotta get right over top
to
of
make
it.
Sure you get,
Sometimes get the flashlight out.
Yeah,
Make
sure you gotta
take the glasses off.
There it is. I made it.
Yeah.
There's something
there
really
we go.
satisfying about that.
Hit the sweet spot.
Yeah, I just got back into vinyl like 2 or 3 years ago, and I bought a lot of it since.
Yes.
And I just love it. Like, what I like about it is it's not like digital where if I start listening to an album, I'm like, okay, I'm just moving to this or I'm going to this.
You got to commit.
You lock into an album and you really enjoy it as an experience as opposed to I'm just listening to like whatever's out there, right?
Yeah.
Like you can really lock it in. I love that an album becomes an album the way it was intended to be heard.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. But now I love all the colored vinyl.
Oh my
God.
god,
So
collector
nice.
stuff. Yeah, it's bad. Like I find myself. I got into like spending a lot on vinyl, but I've calmed down now. My collection is almost, I wouldn't say complete, but it's at a comfort spot where there's only a couple of things here and there.
I just got Ice-T's The Iceberg show up at my house like literally 2 days ago. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I ordered it because I ordered it and it came
Frank
from like
Black and Decker.
Oh yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
a great track.
Yeah, it's so
was a
good.
graphic-
But I forgot I
graphic
ordered
song.
it, and all of a sudden it showed up. I'm like, oh, I forgot I ordered this. Like, it's great.
Nice. Iceberg.
Awesome.
Vinyl
good.
is back, 100%.
Yeah. So that would be mine.
Yeah, it's
Good one.
great.
Good one.
Anytime we can buy things, I like.
That's true. Yeah, the new collection.
That I don't
excellent.
really need, but I like that.
Physical media.
Yeah.
All right, let's do fails.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the fails of the other category. I'll start out, and I'm going to jump off of Tammy's Comic-Con. One thing I hate about Comic-Cons that's really run rampant is the canceling of guests. And it has become so bad. And it's for instance, Fan Expo. No, I love Fan Expo.
Yeah.
But last year they canceled 4 guests the same day.
Yeah.
Big guests, like literally 2 days before it's done. And it's like, yeah, all these guys just canceled. You've been sitting on these guys for a while.
Yeah. And they were all headliners.
And after the ticket cutoff where you couldn't get your ticket money back.
Oh, yes,
Like,
they
that
know.
was pretty. That's dirty. That's dirty.
Yeah.
Like,
but they were headliners. Like they weren't even just like minor guests. They were like all people that you were going to go see.
yeah.
Like they were literally on your list of like, I'm going to Fan Expo because I want to see these 4 people, and then all of a sudden, within an hour, they were all gone.
It's like, oh, we're just gonna pull the Band-Aid off this. We're gonna, and it's like these are all like big guests.
Yeah.
It's not like there's like, like you're saying, they're not small people. Like it's like this is people are specifically coming to see some of these people.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really dirty how they did it. I thought that was really not, like, and Fan Expo was not the only one. It happens.
No,
They
but
all
it
have it.
happens.
Yeah.
But
It's the biggest, and they get the biggest guests.
Yeah.
And the thing,
In Canada, at least.
I mean, the thing is that we all know that these celebrities have their own schedules and they're making whatever, but because these Comic-Cons are getting so big and so popular, there should be more of a commitment to
You'd
be
think,
there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is a
Don't worry, I'll come back next year.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
and very often they don't.
Nope.
Yeah.
And the ones who do come back next year are the ones that come back every year.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the same people.
You're starting to see the same kind of cycle of guests.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot. It's like a tour. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
You're seeing the same people over and over again, and then they might sprinkle 2 or 3 that you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, like they're new on the scene kind of thing. You know, but there's that kind of, I would say, probably realistically like 200 actors that kind of do the circuits. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And we've all been doing the con scene for well over a decade now, and you're starting to see a lot of the same faces over and over again. I think that's kind of a bit
and
of
you assume there's new people coming to cons that haven't seen these people like a Bruce Campbell or someone before, but I just like it's just the cancellations are getting out of control, and it's and sometimes I'm to the point where I'm wondering, did they ever have these person in the first place? Like, did they even ever have them? Because I don't think they did.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just they pay.
might have.
Can we just use your image to say that we've got you? Sure, we'll pay you this much money. Okay.
Yeah. I can tell. Yeah, that's.
Well, he said yes in the hallway of the hotel like a couple of years ago. So he's coming.
Remember when I asked? Yeah.
We'll put him down
That's
and then
fair.
ask later. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming.
Sorry, we don't have Harrison Ford. Andy Dick will replace him. It's like, thanks. Chris Kattan is here to replace Harrison Ford.
Okay, I would love to see either of those.
There are no replacement for Harrison Ford.
No, that's true.
But that's the kind of things they'll do. It's like, oh, but we got we got the cast of Lost Girl. Pearl.
Yeah.
They're here. It's like, oh, great, thanks.
Murder, She Wrote. Yeah, they're all here.
Remember that show Orphan Black?
Yep.
Oh, poor Black.
Yeah, that is a good point.
So anyway, that was my fail for this year.
Good one.
Greg?
Let's see. I would say I don't know. I would like it. I think we've kind of covered a good area.
There are lots of fails this year.
In life, anything? No.
Any personal struggles you want to talk about?
How many parts is this?
We're here for you, Greg.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything really that jumps out. I'll probably regret not saying that. I know there's fails out there, but I can't really
Well, that's a
think
good
of
sign.
anything
That's fine.
major.
Yeah,
I think that's a good sign.
You
Like, I
know?
mean, if there isn't something out there that's like hitting you in the face as being horrible,
No,
then that's good.
Not anything that really. No, not really.
all right,
all right.
perfect.
That's good. It doesn't have to be.
I'm sure there's something. Just can't think of it.
Tammy?
We can come
Now,
back to you if you.
Are we allowed to spoil Star Wars?
Sure. Oh yeah, it's been.
Oh, yeah.
We
Oh,
can
yeah.
spoil it
We did,
Oh, yeah.
we did a whole
because this is
podcast
the
on it.
only thing I didn't like about Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay.
And maybe it's because I'm not a huge Disney fan.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. Someone's
they
going to get
broke out
mad
in
at me. No, yeah, when they all started singing, no. It was the fact that they let the female character win, then not win, then the male character came in. And I'm not that person. Trust me, I'm not that person. How dare they? But it felt like, Rey. Oh, here comes, Kylo. It was just kind of that moment of it where it felt very Disney-ish to me, like
The prince.
the prince is saving the princess.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I love the movie. I cried many times during the movie. But because I'm going to steal you because you didn't have one. One thing that I hated this year, and maybe it's because I'm a professor at FANshot and I have first-year students and I love them. The OK Boomer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that became a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget because I walked into our pit area where all the students were chatting and someone said OK Boomer and they said, shh, that's an insult. They got really upset and I thought, is it? Like I couldn't figure out what was going on there, but
It's more of an insult because we're Gen X.
it's
Yeah, no,
Like,
we are
we're not the
boomers.
boomer. We're not the boomer generation.
No one said it to me personally.
no,
No.
but we
it's
are
just
the-
a bizarre thing. Like
Yeah.
it's an insult now. Okay, boomer, right? And it became a real thing all over the internet and memes and everything else. And
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, but people are getting really offended by it.
But I think you're right. Like it's being used inappropriately.
Yeah, like-
because we're all in our 40s here.
Yeah.
And
How
we're
dare you tell my
we're
age.
I mean, that's a 10-year span.
Yeah.
You can be
That's
very
fair.
early
That's fair.
But I've heard it used like towards me.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm
really?
like I'm not a boomer.
I have not
Yeah.
heard it yet.
I'm not a
I
boomer.
haven't-
Like you don't. I don't think you even understand
Yes.
what you're trying to
Say
say
yes.
here.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it towards me. It's just the okay, boomer, relax, right?
Yeah.
And I'll hear them
Yeah.
say that, and I think, is it an insult? Like I don't get it. So someone's
Chill
older
out.
than you,
I
or
feel
what's
like-
I think it's
that?
just the difference in like
It's-
how like a millennial versus or a
That's
Gen
what it
Z
is.
or whatever
Yeah.
versus
It's millennial versus
like 'cause
boomer.
they don't like just the way they would act in comparison is so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Like so, it's
I
like,
find
they
it
act
funny.
so old. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
I
stupid.
think it's the new version of okay, grandma.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
basically that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Old timer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
literally that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
to
Grandpa.
me, it's
Yeah.
funny because it's not really an insult, but they're taking it like, shh, it's an insult,
Yeah.
right? Don't say that out loud to me. I'm like, oh, really? It's kind of funny.
It is. It's
Okay.
like gone crazy though. Like everybody.
Yeah, everybody says it. It's a thing. So there you go.
Okay, Boomer, Leary, you can go now. It's your fail.
All right. So I'm going pretty general here, but the thing that has irked me more than anything else this year is toxic fandom.
Oh,
yeah.
That
yes.
I feel like
Nicely
has-
done.
Yeah.
True.
I'm at the point in my life now where I've decided I like what I like.
Yeah.
And people don't have to like that, and that's okay too. But I like what I like, and don't tell me I shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
Except if
Yeah.
it's cats.
oh god. Here we
Why
go.
didn't you mention cats? I was waiting
Well,
for
because I
that.
wasn't sure. It's one of those movies. I'm not sure if
Is it
it's
geeky enough?
Is it geeky enough? Though there is like, possibility for cosplay. It is a fantasy.
There's true.
Oh.
There is a lot of things that could make
Dolomite
it.
isn't a game, but it just, I was waiting for, I thought
But
for
Dolomite,
sure.
but
Well, I guess there's a-
blaxploitation
yeah.
is in that
Yeah.
category
Yeah.
as a category.
Yeah.
Cats
Humans
is
as cats is
something.
a genre. isn't it?
I didn't want to.
Yeah,
Don't get me going. This will be another hour.
We can't talk about cats right now.
Don't get me going.
No, we're just talking about something else.
Okay, so toxic fandom, go.
It's just so prevalent, like on all the social media people, and the people who are like anti whatever it is are so
nasty,
violent about it.
Yeah.
And if you try to have a conversation, they just like don't want to hear it.
No.
They're gonna hate, and nothing's gonna change their mind, and that's the way it's gonna go. And I'm just like, just then take your hate someplace else. Like
to the
you don't
point
need
to like they're specifically speaking about characters, and you
Yeah.
ruined the Star Wars
Yeah,
franchise,
and the
and
whole-
how dare you? And I mean, welcome to the internet, right?
Yeah,
where
but-
people could say whatever. But this is
It's just, but it's
awful.
not even just Star Wars. Like
No,
it's
no.
all
Like
kinds
Like Captain
of stuff.
Marvel, like
Captain Marvel.
When they
yeah.
start like
Brie Larson.
yeah,
like,
and
that was a
and,
big one.
and like the women of Marvel and this and that. And it's like,
Yeah.
guys, just settle down.
Well, and
like,
even-
don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they even like remember the new Ghostbusters that came out.
Oh.
With the people
And I-
hated,
Terrible
hated,
movie.
hated.
I was like,
but it's
I-
a terrible movie because it's a terrible movie.
But
Yeah.
but
it
they
has
I
nothing to
liked
do
it.
with the no, it's a
Not
terrible
because
movie.
of the women. I just
No,
I-
It's
I
nothing to
remember,
do with them. It just was a bad movie.
what was her name? The one
Oh,
of the actors-
Leslie.
Leslie Jones.
Jones,
Jones.
yeah.
Yeah, Leslie
Oh,
Jones.
like
she got
forced-
booted up. Like
Yeah.
she left.
He
Like,
left
that was
social media
terrible.
because
That
of
was
that.
terrible.
Just-
What
This
they
is
were.
what
Yeah,
this is
that's
what
just
toxic
bullying.
fandom is doing.
It's just bullying.
And Rose Tico.
And yeah,
Yes, that's who I was thinking.
Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, yeah.
The same thing. Like this is just I mean, it started way back with the whole Jar Jar Binks thing, and poor Ahmed Best.
Yeah, oh,
who literally
yeah.
was just getting a paycheck. He was just doing his
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
The guy like ended up with depression
Yeah.
and in therapy.
That's
and
bullying.
Finally, he's being welcomed back into the community, and he's doing all right. But it's that like that's what it can do. Like that's the level
course.
of
Yeah.
it's all right to
hate.
be critical of something.
Sure.
Like the Last Jedi versus Rise of Skywalker debates, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're critical, if it's critical,
And that's
like
fine.
But it's
Yeah.
when you start picking on people and they're getting really like
It's
targeted on the
nasty.
type of person and this and that, and it's like, guys, stop
Exactly,
it.
but
That's
it goes,
not what this is about.
No.
but it goes both ways because there are people who are like hate the movie, and then there are people who love the movie who hate on the people who hate
Yeah,
the movie
yeah,
and start
yeah, yeah.
calling them names and start you
Yeah.
know it's the name calling
Just-
and it's the demeaning. I'm like,
If you
just-
like it, you like it. If you don't go see it again.
It's like people feel
Take
like they
to the net.
own everything. Like,
Yes.
this is mine.
Yeah,
you
no.
didn't do it the way I
No, we
want
all
to do it, so
share
it's
it.
garbage. Yeah, it's
Go
so
make a
weird.
Star Wars movie, and then we'll decide if it's okay.
It's
you
the
know,
strangest. It is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
it's not.
Now I'm angry.
well,
We're
yeah.
all angry.
Shaking our fists, all of us.
Okay, boomers, let's relax.
It is so weird. I don't get it.
Grinds my gears.
Thanks, Grandpa. Get off my lawn, you.
Yeah. I guess no, that's definitely it is really last year. I think it was at the height
Yeah.
of like being a thing for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that it now has a name.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
the fact
Like
that
it's
it's
labeled.
actually
Yeah.
toxic fandom. Like,
Yep.
I mean, it's always been around. People have always complained.
I'm
and
guilty of it a
whatever.
little bit, but then I kind of pull away. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, and then
you
you
know,
kinda
like
go-
this is getting
Yeah, it's just
way
yeah.
too heated for no. Like, why am
no
I
reason.
wasting my
Exactly.
life energy on this?
But there are
Like,
too
you know,
many people who don't, who like
They
live
don't.
for this. Like,
Yeah.
and like, I'm good.
That's
at
what we
that.
call trolls.
I'm
Yeah,
the guy
yeah.
that
There you
posts
go.
the Michael Jackson eating the popcorn meme.
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
So anyway,
that's the sad truth.
Yep. But the outcome is that I now have just decided to live a simpler life, where I like what I like, and people can take it or leave it.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's
Yeah.
it.
All right. Well, we've done 2019. Let's look ahead to 2020, and we're just going to one thing that you're really excited about for this year that's coming out that you put your hooks into and you can't wait.
Okay.
All right. Greg looks like he needs to look at the menu a little longer. We're
That's what
gonna
I'm
did
not- I'm
not
just narrowing it down.
practice.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot
I
of
just do
options
have
on this
a lot.
menu.
Let's start with Tammy on this one.
Well, this was supposed to be like in general, right?
Yes, yes,
So I
yes.
was like,
Anything you're excited about.
I was really. This is going to sound really cheesy, guys. But I was really excited about doing this. I want to do more of this kind of stuff.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Collaborative geekdom.
Collaborative
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Like, I don't
We all
feel
need
like.
an outlet.
You know, I don't feel like it's like I've got FANatics and you've got this and you've got that. It's just fun, and whenever we see each other at cons and everything
Yes.
else.
Well, yeah.
So just more of this.
That's
right?
good.
The cool thing is we all kind of do different things, right? We all
Yes.
serve different type of people, but it's great that we can all come
Absolutely.
together as one.
Yes, that's right.
It's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
so
like that
that's
idea.
It.
I am all in support of that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Coexist.
All right, I'll go next. Coexist is one. I'm really looking forward to the Bond movie this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm just excited. I love James Bond, and I'm excited for this last sort of movie in this section. One of my New Year's resolutions this year, as I call them, is to watch all the Bond movies this year.
Whoa.
Oh, do you need them all? Because I got them all.
I've got them all. I got them on Blu-ray. So
multiple versions of all of them.
yeah, so I'm gonna watch it.
I
Like,
got the work prints.
I'll probably start with the newest ones first, just because the new movie's coming out, and then I'll work my way back and watch the different ones. But but it'll be
That's a good one.
I'm super excited about it. So it's gonna be cool.
And this is Daniel Craig's last one, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this
Not
is
my
another.
favorite Bond. I'm sorry.
I like him. I like him.
I'm sorry.
I
He's
like him.
fine.
You
He's
have to
fine.
like him.
He's no Roger Moore.
How dare you?
Roger Moore was definitely hit and miss with me. But
I loved Roger.
Roger Moore was my.
He was kind of serious at the beginning, then he got more goofy as the
yes.
movies went on.
Moonraker's brutal.
Oh yeah, but that's why I love it.
Wait
That's why
till you
it's
get
so
to
That's
cheesy.
the
Moonraker, you'll be like,
That's
oh.
so cheesy.
Yeah.
That's the
I
best.
I love those. I love the Roger Moore era.
Yeah.
I started with Bond during the Pierce Brosnan
Yeah.
era, like the early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I sort of picked up the whole and decided I really liked them.
Yeah.
So he's my like
He's a good one.
first, even though like only 2 of those movies are actually good.
Yeah, Goldeneye.
Goldeneye was
great movie.
great.
That's one of my favorite Bond movies of all time.
Yeah,
is
that is a
Goldeneye.
really
Yeah.
good movie. And they kind of a little bit went downhill after that.
Yeah, they
but I
got a
still
little
really
too
liked him as
cartoony,
Bond.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked him as Bond. So that's a good one. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that too.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Greg.
Okay, I do have it.
All right.
So because of the trailer, it was one of those kind of like teary jump out of my seat moments and go, yes, I'm looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, yes.
I am so I have not like gone over in my head of like all these different theories of how I think this movie's gonna work, and that usually tells me that I'm so excited about a movie when I just start. The gears start cranking in my brain. I'm like, okay, the reason because of like I was one of those like breaking down the trailer and then watching breaking down of the trailer videos on YouTube on top of that.
And
just to
then
see
the
if
20 things you missed in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I cannot wait because I'm going to assume it's going to be a PG picture, and it involves kids. It's something I'm going to be able to take my kids to, like my parents took me to see Ghostbusters in 1984.
Nice.
And so I'm looking forward to the movie, and I'm looking forward to the experience.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It does look cool. I like how you haven't really seen the originals in any of the trailers yet.
None of
It's
the
such a
original
cool
people-
way with the flashback of like what looks like news footage on the TV
That's
from
really
the New
cool.
York incident. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Everything about that trailer, I was just like, oh.
And I like that they like set it in this. It's obviously the same universe, but it's like years later. Like it's now.
Yeah.
So that
It's
stuff
very
really
Stranger
happened.
Things-ish.
It is.
It does,
Well,
yes,
Neil
which is
Gaiman-
fine by me.
Anything
Yeah.
Finn
Yeah.
what's his name?
Finn Wolfhard.
Wolfhard.
Yeah, I think something
Is
like
going
that.
to look like Stranger Things.
Call him Wolfie.
Like he,
Yeah, Wolfie.
yeah, he's just. It's going to be Stranger
Yeah,
Things.
it's
if he's in it.
exciting.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
Pretty pumped about that.
So
too.
yeah, that's definitely like that was an easy pick. I just had to narrow it down. Then I was like, wait a second. You know,
You didn't
the
even go
most thing
very
I was
far.
excited about late last year. That was the trailer. So yeah, I'm looking.
And the
forward to
second season of Watchmen. Okay, go on, Larry.
All right. Well, in keeping with the whole nostalgia thing and the things that I'm super excited about because of nostalgia, I'm sure it's probably going to be cheesy, but I'm really, really excied for the new Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick. I am as soon as the trailer came and the theme music, I was like, oh my god! I like literally got like butterflies in my stomach. I was like, this. I was thrown right back to the '80s, and on top of which, what's his name? Tom Cruise is flying the freaking planes.
Yes, this guy can do anything.
Like,
He's an alien, as my wife says.
I literally can't take my eyes off of these scenes where he's in the pilot seat actually flying. I don't even care what the rest of the movie is going to look like. I just want to see him fly.
Yeah, it does
That's
look pretty
so
cool.
Crazy. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be good. I'm not claiming it's going to be good. I'm just saying it's going to be great.
I was like indifferent on I'm not a huge Top Gun fan, and I was like, Oh, they're flying planes. That looks great. I don't know. There was nothing in it that really grabbed me. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know. I guess if you're a really big fan of the Top Gun.
When Goose died, you didn't well up at all?
His son's gonna be in this one.
I know.
yeah.
Baby
And they
Goose.
even have like a beach, some kind of beach scene. I don't know if it's volleyball.
I think it's volleyball.
Oh
I don't
boy,
know.
I saw that. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, they're really going back for the
they're
nostalgia.
literally doing
Yeah.
scene by scene because they've got him on Tom Cruise on a motorcycle,
Yeah.
like running down the runway
with his
or whatever.
girlfriend also
Yeah.
around that shot as well.
It's
Jennifer
literally
Connelly.
the same
I'll
movie.
watch anything that she's in. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I
Career
just think,
Opportunities 2. is
Yeah.
gonna be-
I was at the right age for that one. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, I love that movie. Career
I was about
Opportunities.
13
Oh, yeah.
when
are
that
you
came
kidding
out.
me? Yeah, I love
I just
that
stared
movie.
at the poster at the theater going,
That movie.
that's the girl from Labyrinth?
I know.
Boy, is she grown up. Yeah.
Milk does a body good.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that was such a poor movie, but what a great
Yeah.
poster to stare at as a 12, 13-year-old male. Yeah.
So funny.
All right, son, we're going to the theater. Just give me a minute.
Oh yeah, nostalgia's fun.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. All right,
Member
Boomer.
berries.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
So I think that's it. We've gone through everything.
I think that's it. We're excited about next year, this year.
This year.
We're excited
2020.
about last year.
There's
Yeah.
so much happening. Like, it's
Yeah.
going to be a crazy year once again with like there's just so much with all the Disney Plus stuff coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like it's just gonna be one thing after another. It's
Yeah.
and then of course a ton more trailers will be coming out for other things for 2021, and I won't be able to handle it all.
This is a great time to be a geek.
Yeah, this is like the pinnacle. I think.
I'm going to
The
see
geek
more
shall inherit
movies
the
this
earth.
year.
Well, now you're gonna have to because you got these podcasts to do.
I
So
know.
you need to
yes,
step up
I have
your.
to be more prepared.
Yeah.
I have to be.
People
I
are
just see
prepared.
really cheesy movies. That's my
That's-
problem.
I gotta
But
hate
like-
things more,
yeah.
apparently.
Okay.
I couldn't find anything. I couldn't think of a fail. I'm sorry.
Well, that's nice. That's a nice
Half
thing.
glass full, people.
You're gonna be halfway home. You're going, I got it.
I hated everything
Let me in. I
last
got
year.
something else.
We got to insert this in. I got something.
I'll just send you an audio file.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show, and hopefully we'll have a great 2020. Greg, once again, what pop culture? Where do you find it?
Okay, you can find it on the air on 1290 CJBK Saturdays at 5:05, and you can also find it on iHeartRadio streaming worldwide.
Is there news before it? Is that why it's 5:05?
Yeah, they have like a little news clip there.
Yeah. Okay. I was like 5:05 is a weird time. There's
It
got to
is,
be
it
news.
is. I used to say 5, but then people are like, "There's news on," but no, it's like just wait for it. It's just a click. Yeah.
And Tammy,
We're all over social media, but you can find us at fanaticsonline.rocks.
awesome. And we'll put those links up on our social media. We always say we're going to put
Yeah,
stuff on our
eventually
social
we
media. We
will.
never
Yeah, we
do.
never do
But
that.
this time, 2020 is going to be a new year where we'll put stuff on social media.
I hear you.
Other than pictures of Lawrence on vacation.
Yeah, those will still be there. Don't you worry.
Well, thank you everybody for listening, and I hope everybody has a great 2020, and we'll see you next time.
Produced by Matthew C. Loop and Lawrence Simner. A Loop and Larry production.
Bueller,
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Bueller,
Bad news. Fog is getting thicker.
And Leon's getting larger.
Inconceivable. Brian's right. It's an elf.
Wax on.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
oh Captain, my Captain.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Wax off.